Now, in 1980, you had a visitation of an angel.
Yes, I did.
Now, I have seen angels, but you're provoking me to jealousy.
I was in my apartment, and I had laid down on the couch to take a nap. And suddenly I felt a presence and sat straight up on that couch. And it was one of those moments when you feel that someone's presence, but you don't see anyone. And in just a few moments, just about as far as you are from me, a man materialized. And he began speaking to me, but he never opened his mouth. It was nonverbal communication. And he said, I'm a man from the presence of the Lord.
It was going spirit to spirit.
Well, it was going spirit to spirit or mind to mind. I really don't know. He thought a thought, and I received the thought. And he began to speak to me about my ministry, and that my ministry would be a sojourning ministry, and that particularly I would be sent to a people who had suffered. Now, at this particular time, Denise and I were not married. In fact, Denise was not even in the picture yet. And so my life was young, and I certainly had no thoughts of moving to the Soviet Union. And suddenly a map came in front of me that filled the whole room, and the whole map began to violently shake. And this angel began to communicate with me that my ministry would be located in a part of the world where there would be violent shaking and many, many changes, and an end-time ministry. And certainly that is what we have.
1985, another visitation,
yes.
But this time from Jesus. What
Yes.
happened?
I was awakened in the middle of the night, and I went to the back room of a house and began to pray in tongues. And I began to pray very deeply in tongues. And I closed my eyes as I walked back and forth in that room. And when I opened my eyes, the room was gone, and I was standing in the spirit realm. Now, the spirit realm has substance. It was a dark place, but yet it was not a scary place. But it was the spirit realm. And far in the distance, I saw a light. And the light got brighter and brighter and brighter until finally it manifested in front of me. And it was a throne, it was a chair. I could even draw a picture of the chair, it's that real to me. And seated in that chair was Jesus. And Jesus began to speak to me about my ministry. I was on my knees because I had already gone to my knees in prayer. And the Lord reached out and took my hands. And He took one hand at a time, and I say that He sandwiched my hands. He put one hand on top, He put another hand underneath, and He said, see, today I give to you an anointing of love mixed with hate. And I said, well, what is that? And then He did it to the other hand, and I said, Lord, what is love mixed with hate? And He said, that is an anointing of compassion. When the love of God is so strong, and yet the hate for the work of the enemy is equally as strong, and they flow together, and when they flow together, they create compassion. And suddenly I saw myself in the Spirit walking through a hospital ward of people very different. And I know today it was a Russian hospital ward.
But at that time, you just knew it was a hospital ward.
I just knew it was a hospital, and it was different, and it was dilapidated. And the Lord began to speak to me again about the fact that He was going to send me to a people who had suffered great lack and great hardship. And then the most amazing thing happened. The Lord held His hands out to me like this. And He said, see, today I place before you finances on a realm that are already amassing more finances. And Sid, it felt like those finances entered into me, greatness of finances. And I understood that God was going to supernaturally provide for whatever it was He was calling us to do on the other side of the world. And God has been absolutely faithful.